What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. This time we're taking a look at Dogma, written and directed by Kevin Smith. Dogma tells the story of these two fallen angels named Bartleby and Loki, who were ousted from heaven by God, and now they want to make their way back into heaven. But if they do so, they can prove God to be proven wrong for casting them, since God is never wrong about anything. And by doing that, they can cause the entire world and existence as we know it to pretty much disappear without a trace. So, in order to prevent that, the voice of God named Metatron enlists the help of the last descendant of Christ named Bethany, two prophets who happen to be Jay and Silent Bob, and two seraphs who are the apostle and the muse to band together to try and stop these two angels from entering the Catholic Church and ending all creation as we know it. Okay, yeah, this movie has way too much going for it. It's a little hard. It's a little hard to keep up with it. I have only seen Dogma maybe twice in my entire lifespan, with this review coming after I viewed it for the second time, and I can say this: I think Dogma is a solid Kevin Smith movie. It's not one of my favorites by any stretch of the imagination. This movie is really religious heavy. Like, this is pretty much Kevin Smith's satire on religion, specifically that of Catholicism, and how he handles it is entirely up into interpretation. Some will say he handles it with complete blasphemy. Some will say that he handled it with a comedic edge. Me personally, I'm trying to view this movie as just what it is, a movie. As a movie, I think it's entertaining. I think it goes a little too long and it can be a little too, I don't know, sluggish in some areas. But overall, I enjoyed Dogma. It's backed by an all-star cast that includes Ben Affleck and Matt Damon as the two angels, Bartleby and Loki, who I actually enjoyed them in this movie as these two fallen angels. Affleck and Matt Damon have really good on-screen chemistry with one another, and a lot of that has to do with them being real-life best friends. And them playing these two fallen angels was highly entertaining, especially when they go on a killing spree, which is very entertaining to itself as well. And then when you get close to the end of the movie, the roles switch with Bartleby, who was the one who was against kind of Loki going on a killing spree. Then the roles kind of get flipped, and Loki's now against Bartleby for wanting to commit, for pretty much sounding like Lucifer in a way. And that's when the mass genocide at the end of the movie takes place. So yeah, Affleck and Damon, I thought they were great. Linda Florentino plays Bethany, the last descendant of Christ, and the focus of this movie. Overall, I thought she put on a very solid performance. Although I think there are some areas where I think she can be a little bit bland, and she looks like she's sleepwalking through the role, or maybe that's just her acting ability. I really don't know. I'm not too familiar with Linda Florentino's work outside of this and the first Men in Black movie. I thought she was overall fine. If anything, Janine Garofalo's in this movie. I would have had her play Bethany because at least I'm more familiar with Garofalo's work, and I think she's a better actress in comparison. But I think Florentino did okay. Uh, this movie also has Jason Lee, who plays a demon named Azrael. I like Jason Lee, and I like his little role in this movie as the demon Azrael, and I like how he sends a shit monster, a Galactica, to try and kill our heroes. So, which was a very gross yet very entertaining scene to itself, which includes a cameo by Dwight L as a gang member. So always fun. Uh, Selma Hayek makes an appearance in this movie as a character called Muse. I thought she was fine. Selma Hayek is a gorgeous woman, and this was during the height of her career as a sex symbol and good looking woman, and she was okay in the role as well. Uh, Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith as Jay and Silent Bob, who just happened to be the two prophets that Bethany has to link up with. Always fun seeing Jay and Silent Bob. This movie is set in the View Askew universe, so they make a lot of references to Chasing Amy in movies like Clerks and Mallrats and stuff like that. And as always, Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith as Jay and Silent Bob, they're always hilarious. Especially Jay, who's trying to get in the pants of Bethany, and Bethany just warding off his advances. Always fun. Alan Rickman makes an appearance at this movie as the character of Metatron. I like Alan Rickman, and I actually thought Alan Rickman was really, really funny as the character of Metatron. He had a lot of really funny lines, and the fact that he's like, and the fact that when we first see Metatron, Bethany thinks at first he's a rapist, and then he's like, "I'm basically a Kentall. I'm at a." He's basically a eunuch. But aside from that, I thought Rickman was really funny, and actually, the characters of Bethany and Metatron, they do have some really good tender moments to themselves, especially when Bethany is questioning her faith, and then Metatron tells the story about how he was forced to tell a young Jesus that he was going to be crucified and belligered by the Romans. So it's a good character. I enjoyed Alan Rickman's performance all throughout. Chris Rock in this movie plays the 13th Apostle, and Chris Rock is a funny guy, and I thought he was funny in this movie as the character of Rufus. So yeah, from an overall cast standpoint, this movie is really solid, and majority of the cast members all do a great job. And you also get an appearance by George Carlin as a Catholic priest named Cardinal Glick, who is trying to pretty much commercialize Catholicism by getting rid of the cross and having a Jesus buddy type of statue where he's like something cheesy and stupid like that. So yeah, all that stuff I thought was fun. From a production value, this is a great looking movie. This is pretty much in comparison to a lot of Kevin Smith movies at the time. This is a much big budget movie that requires a lot of special effects, and for the most part, I think the special effects look pretty good. The ship monster looks disgustingly gross, yet very realistic. And when Bartleby and Loki are doing their massive genocide near the end of the movie, and you see their massive angel's wings and their armor, and pretty much the whole violent section of that movie, I thought was pretty well done as well, and it had a nice darkly comedic edge to it, as only Kevin Smith can do. So I thought that was fine to itself as well. The overall story of this movie can be very convoluted in a lot of areas, and there's like a lot of moving parts to it. And like I said, this movie takes a lot of jabs at organized religion and Catholicism. So it all depends on your taste, and if you can take a joke. Me, I am not Catholic, nor do I have very strong religious beliefs. So this movie really didn't really have any offensive effect on me whatsoever. I just thought it was I thought it was pretty good. This is not my favorite Kevin Smith movie by any stretch of the imagination, because I think the story can be a little too convoluted for its own good, and I do think there are moments where it kind of gets sluggish in a lot of areas, but overall I do find it entertaining, and I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10. It's not my favorite Kevin Smith movie, but it is entertaining. It has a really solid cast who I think all have their moments of shine. But I think what really hampers the movie itself is the story is way too convoluted. It can throw a lot of stuff at you, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Dogma. I don't really have a whole lot to say about this movie, but let me know your thoughts in the comment sections down below. Like this video and subscribe, and I will check you back next time for more.